And in keeping with my new book, the Detox Edition Remixed for a Healthy New You is available everywhere and at Amazon.com. I am extending my 1-hour phone consultation specials with me if you'd like to get scheduled, because it's the Healthy New You consultation and the Detox Edition Remix for a Healthy New You. So it goes together. It's sort of a companion. So if you feel like you need a little extra help to jumpstart your detox life or your life on this wellness journey, contact me. Send me an email at askthegooddoctor@msn.com. And I'm so glad I talked about the grants being available that go unused, because a lot of you jumped right on that. And you know what? The United Breast Health Foundation no longer has any more grants available for the month. They gave out so many. So kudos to you all for doing that. I appreciate you, because that's how grant money goes away. It goes unclaimed. I want to plant a seed with you now. This is a final announcement, I think. I want to plant a seed with you about the Wellness Warriors Weekend Getaway to the Essex Culinary Resort and Spa in Vermont, June 20th through 24th. It will be a weekend loaded on how to become healthy, wealthy, and wise. And we will have all kinds of great speakers from across the country. And joining us will be our very own Tramel and Cousin Syl, host of Next Nation. We'll be giving you more details next week, and that's a promise. But if you'd like to hold a space to make sure you get information, send me that email, askthegooddoctor@msn.com. Woo! Now, catch up with us one place or another, okay? See, I told you we had lots of goodies for you, and we do it just for you. I told my team to get their rest, take your vitamins, and eat your Wheaties, baby, because we are on the run to keep up with it all. Now, for my two lovely ladies on the phone with me, I'm pleased to call them my sisters. Yes, I am. Angelique Miles is a social media influencer with over 42,000 followers, and she has been doing healing and soul work in teaching us all about being fit over 50. Welcome, Angelique.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And Karen Taylor Bass is a publicity maven, or I like to call us a spin doctor, and host on the Hub Podcast Network show called Chapter 2. Welcome, Karen.
Hello.
Hey, I have known both Angelique and Karen for many years back in the days when we worked in the record business, and I'm glad to have them here in this space to share with us. And first, I want to share a bit of research with you both as we discuss laying down the weight and the angst of aging. Now, a 2008 study by a Dr. Faulkner says appearance dissatisfaction amongst middle-aged women has been associated with a fear of aging. Aging anxiety is defined as the combined concern and anticipation of losses centered around the aging process, with perceived changes to physical appearance as one of the 4 major dimensions. Given our Western culture, he says, that associate women's aging with a deterioration in physical attractiveness, it is perhaps unsurprising that women in midlife often experience anxiety surrounding loss of attractiveness as they age. Woo!
That's a lot.
I
don't know if it's perceived.
Come on,
You
Angelique.
didn't talk about my chin hair. Yeah. I'm like, it's not perceived changes.
Okay.
There are changes.
Come on. There are changes. Talk about it, Angelique.
I would say that I guess the fear of aging for me comes with not so much as physical appearance as for like, where am I in my life? Like, is everything going the way it should be? Or if it's not, it's like, okay, this is not where I'm supposed to be at 52. I'm supposed to be, married in a house with a white picket fence with my kids in college or something like that. So maybe that's why I do work out so much, because I couldn't take that and the physical thing too. I think it's different for everyone, but with the physical appearance, I do believe I do have to work harder now to look a certain way, but I am not trying to look like I did at 30 or 35.
Oh gosh, no.
I just, I like how I look now. I just want to be the best I can be at where I am.
Exactly. It's interesting that we are collectively at this juncture together in our Chapter 2 and being 50. because a lot of women really are anxious about the turning 50 and choosing to forever be 45. You know, for some, it is even a burden and it brings on depression because it's not dealt with directly. And that's problematic. And today, I want us to help others to lay down that weight and the angst of the aging in facing this next chapter. And, I guess that, you look at 50 as certainly the middle point in life, as, we could be promised 120 years. And so when we look at it in that way, I hear what Angelique is saying about wondering and having concern for being whether or not you are where you should be. But whose barometer is it?
No, that's
for me.
Go ahead.
Karen,
No. I was just agreeing that who is the barometer? Who are we looking at? And just to chime in, I think Angelique is right. I think aging is so subjective, and we're looking at Western cultures to define us, or Western culture to define us. For me, I know when, being 52, I had a child at 40. So, my body completely changed.
Yep.
Like drastically, and then I also had postpartum depression for like a year. So that's some real stuff.
It
and
is.
Getting through that, getting treatment for that through holistically, i.e., taking yoga. Now I'm in practice to be a certified yoga trainer because I saw how that helped me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Karen, that's awesome.
Just literally just taking control of that and saying it's not going to define me.
That's right.
But now you deal with other superficial things, and they are superficial in the big scheme, like, I'm like, God, daggit, didn't I just get rid of that chin hair? So it's like things like that you realize as you get older hormonally, you're changing, you're perimenopausal or menopausal, so that's a whole different kind of hormonal stretch. You are always feeling like you are on a treadmill.
Yes,
but
yes.
The goal really for me, I can only speak for myself, is to not be on a treadmill, to not allow others to judge me, to not be hard on myself, just to be loving and kind and realize, like, yes, there's more hips, there's more this, but, like, the loving is still good, the smile is still there, and it's going to be okay. I'm here. It's going to be okay.
That's right. And you know what? You're here even when sometimes it's not.
Exactly.
And that's what we have to get to, to understanding it's okay not to be okay sometimes. Karen just said that she got help when she realized she had postpartum depression. That's huge. Just the acknowledgement of, I've had too much. Somebody help me, please. Karen, how was the awareness of your chapter 2 made clear to you?
Well, it was really clear that I had gotten a second chance, and not to, bemoan or anything. But like I said, I had Sophia at 40, and I suffered from hemorrhaging right after. That's so common among Black women that goes undetected. And I was the one, like Serena Williams, who noticed that I was clotting more. So I had to have my clots manually removed, and then 2 blood transfusion later. So all those kind of things take a tumultuous toll on you, and I had a C-section. So, like, literally, I was on 24-hour watch after going through that procedure that I feel like I did get a second chance of living in life. So when I turned 50, I had a bucket list ready at 45, like, you know what? With this second chance, it's a chapter 2, and I am ridding myself of stuff that doesn't serve me, and I'm going to be unapologetic about it. Like, I don't have time for haters. Like, I am the one that's more critical of myself than you can ever be. So it's like silencing all that stuff, and then my chapter 2 is silencing others and literally honing in on myself. And it's a day by day. Like, am I up every day and feeling amazing? No way. But am I appreciative of the journey? Yeah.
I like it.
Exactly.
I like silencing that. Angelique, how did you come to do this work and being an advocate and embracing being fit at 50?
Well, for me, like we were just discussing, I was in the record business. Technically for me, music publishing.
Yes.
But, in the music business, and for many of us, things came to a crashing end in the mid-2000s. So, I was flailing for a while because I wasn't sure what it was. Like, 'cause I wasn't finding a job in the business anymore. Like, whereas before it was so easy to just, you lose one job, you get another. That stopped, and so I had to really figure things out. Like, okay, what am I going to do next? And I really didn't know because that's all I'd known for about 15 years.
Yes.
And so it was about, I went through a deep depression, not clinically depressed or anything like that, not diagnosed that, but I know it was depression because I was just lost, and I was I will say I was in darkness for about 10 years, literally. But throughout it all, I worked out every day.
Yes. And is that what helped your mood? Helped lift you out of that depression?
I would say yes, because my situation didn't really change much, but how I felt about myself, I tell people that although I was feeling down and out, I didn't want to look down and out because that would have just taken me over the edge.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It was the one thing I could control. I could get up and go to the gym every day. I didn't have to wait for anybody to call me back, email me back about a job or anything like that. Yeah. I am in control of my body, what I put into my body, what I do with it. So I took control of that when everything else felt like it wasn't in my control. So, and along with the fact that my body was changing. So,
yes.
I just took control over the one thing I knew I could.
That's good. And a lot of people look at it as feeling hopeless and looking at their bodies saying, "Oh, I'm just getting older and this is supposed to happen, and oh, this is just a normal part of aging." Well, yes, some things are, but are you going to lay down and take it?
Right. There's certain things I'm just not passive about.
Yes.
There's some things that, okay, there are changes in my face. There's some things I'm passive about. There's some things I'm not. You know what I mean? Changes in my body. There's some things I'm comfortable with a little bit of extra weight, but I'm not comfortable with being overweight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm 20 pounds more than I was, 15 pounds more than I was 10 years ago. And I'm okay with it. I don't expect to be, I was stick thin. I don't want to be stick thin. So I'm okay with the extra weight, and that's what's expected, and I'm okay with that. I just don't want to be out of shape.
That's right. So, and you're in better shape. That's exactly what I was going to say, though.
Yeah, if you're in better shape, it's okay. So, yeah, I'm just focused on, like I said, just being the best where I am. It does make me feel better, and it's also helped me to reinvent myself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I enjoy it, and that was the thing that I finally came to a conclusion to, was that I had to figure out if nothing else was working out. So I just was like, what do you want to do every day? Figure that out and then get paid doing whatever that is. You might as well enjoy and love what you do for the second half of your life.
That's right.
Just pick something and focus on that.
Did you ever think on your first post, on your first day, that you were sharing on Instagram would resonate to the tune of 42,000 followers plus?
No, I was just interviewed for this article the other day, and it was about social media influencers, and they asked me, what should a person do who aspires to be a social media influencer? And my answer was to not aspire to be a social media
influencer. Absolutely.
This thing, it's just the whole concept didn't occur to me because it didn't exist.
That's right.
I could not have planned this because it did not exist. I had started to do CrossFit, which, if you know anything about CrossFit, it's these crazy workouts where you're doing things that I was doing things I never thought I could do. I was doing Olympic weightlifting. I was running miles. I'd never run more than a quarter of a mile in my life. I was running 2 miles, coming back, doing 50 kettlebell swings, run another, doing these crazy workouts. And I just was so proud of myself for doing these workouts. I just wanted to tell somebody.
Yes.
So I would post, like, Instagram was fairly new. So I would post my workouts.
Yeah.
Not doing them, but saying, like, this is what I did today.
Mm-hmm.
And I would post because I was working out 5 or 6 days a week, and I would post them, not really expecting much of a response. 'Cause like I said, the whole social media thing was fairly new.
Yes.
But I would see people on the street, or people would say to me, oh, you motivated me to get up and work out today. That workout you did the other day was crazy. I was like, oh, this is bigger than me. Okay, I'm motivating people. I'm inspiring people. So it was just me being my authentic self,
Right.
doing what I really do. Nothing I do is staged for the gram or anything like that. It was just being my authentic self, and it all started with fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And just wanting to be the best I could be, and not wanting to just sit at home and be depressed about being unemployed. And so that's what I was doing. I never aspired to be this. This is just what genuinely, organically happened, and now it's gone, expanded from fitness into wellness and lifestyle.
And that is organic in the true sense of the word. Karen, what was your greatest challenge in turning 50, or even as you approached it?
My greatest challenge was being in a unhappy relationship and literally deciding how my chapter 2 was going to be. Was I going to be in a marriage that I was unhappy with just because it's what I was taught is, that's what you want, to be married, a picket fence, like Angelique was saying, or was I going to be strong and brave enough to radically make changes and take a risk on myself and on my future with my children and do this? And so that's what my chapter 2 was all about, was literally, how can I make a better world for myself, and that if I know I'm better, everyone else is better. So that was the first thing I had to do, of course, coupled with what streams do I need to get there. And one of the first things I said to myself was, like, how did I get to healing from postpartum? And that was through my introduction to Bikram yoga, hot yoga with 105 degrees. Wow. And in yoga, in Bikram, the goal, honestly, is just to be able to stay in the moment. And I feel when you're, burgeoning at a certain age, it's so hard because the mind chatter is so real. You're thinking about everything you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to be, but you're not in the moment. And so once I was able to accomplish staying in a room for 90 minutes at 105 degrees, I was able to start plotting. And it led me on a path of just self-discovery and pushing myself like Angelique. And now, everything is possible. Everything is what I'm doing now. I see myself, my body lengthening, getting stronger, but my mind is stronger as I'm on this path. And, when I think of myself as like June 9th, I'll be certified as a yoga instructor in 3 principles and meditation.
That's
awesome. I mean, like, that's real, right?
Yes.
And you talk about a journey. So, my divorce, like all those things that I set out to do, but taking a risk to say, I'm going to go for it. I deserve it. And so that's what my chapter 2 has been all about, is just being courageous.
That's something. Because it takes a lot to muster up courage when there was none, And I would have to say that my journey to 50 was, I was very content, and I was excited for 50. Everyone I knew in my circle, in my village, when my mother and her friends were turning 50 and they were celebrating, I was little and sitting around looking like, oh, I can't wait to be 50. There are some awesome women. And in my journey along the way, all of the fine, fantastic women, they were 50. They were killing it. And I was like, this is my future. Okay, when I get to be 50, I'm going to be like this. And so I was always excited for that. And of course, you meet the women who are not managing 50 well, but I was surrounded by the women who were. And there's a lot to be said for that, because I I entered it and awaited it with anticipation, bated breath. And I was just so excited for the moment. I planned a huge party with my bestest friend. Her birthday is July 24th. Shout out to Claudette, home from the hospital. Hey.
Shout out.
And her birthday is July 24th. My birthday is September 24th. And we had that party on August 24th, right in the middle. And it was a throwdown. 50 is gold, celebration for gold. And it was a gold and white affair. And we put the party on layaway for a year, because that's how swanked out we wanted it. And we had it at a resort, and it was just lovely that people are still talking about it today. And we're planning our 60th now. But the point that I'm making is we couldn't wait. The excitement and the contentment that I felt in my life. And at this point, I had a 10-year-old at 50, because I didn't have my baby too, like you, Karen, at 40.
Mm-hmm.
And so, some days I ask myself, what was I thinking? But overall, it's okay. I'm good with that. Going to colleges, and people are going to graduations, and we're just scouting out colleges. So, it's just an excitement, and I'm just grateful to God for my chapter 2 and all of the things that I'm doing holistically, and the show, and just dreams are coming true. And it reminds me of Steve Harvey, who said that not a lot of his life happened to him when he turned 50. When he was in his 50s, that his greatest experiences and his greatest successes came once he got 50. And he says that if they would have come any earlier, that he feels that maybe he would have lost some of them.
That's true.
I can understand that.
Totally. I didn't say, but for 50, my 6 friends of mine, we went to South Africa for 2 weeks. So
awesome.
That is how, and we had literally done that trip on layaway for like 10 years, because we wanted to go first class. We wanted the best accommodations. We wanted to stay where heads of state stay. So crossing the river literally was transformative. So I know what you're saying about the party. Yeah. And where I am at 52, if this had happened at 32 or whatever, wouldn't be ready. I think now we're also ready because we've lived.
True.
Right?
True. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Ladies, some of your final thoughts. What do you do to make sure that you are physically okay to wake up and face your life every day? Karen.
Wow, that's a powerful question. I honestly have to say meditation is my life work. I do that twice a day, the first thing in the morning and at night, and if I'm having a moment in the day, throughout the day. But meditation keeps me still, keeps me on purpose, but keeps me in gratitude and smiling. I mean, I live on joy. I really do. And that's when my system is cockeyed, is because, something is not making me happy, but, by purpose, I am a happy person. And that doesn't mean that I don't have sad moments. I'm not saying that.
Sure.
But it's just that I'm very grateful to be here. And like you said, nothing is promised. So through meditation, I'm literally able to stop and listen to myself, my body, be in tune with it, and work through my traumas. And that's what yoga affords me, is the opportunity to know when something aches. What am I holding on to?
Yeah.
What do I no longer need?
Yes.
And so that's what keeps me going. And I don't go to church every week. Maybe it's once a quarter, but that doesn't make me. I am very spiritual and faith based, and that is my rock, and that's where I get my assignment. And like you said, I know what I'm doing is I am so on purpose because it's happening organically, and I don't have to work at it like I used to, and that's a blessing.
Amen.
So that's me, meditation all the time.
Okay. Angelique?
Well, to echo what Karen said, I'm big on meditation, but probably not in the technical sense that people think that it is, like, sitting with your legs crossed and chanting. It's not like that for me. I've taken to doing sleep meditations. Like, I play sleep meditation.
Oh.
And if I'm like feeling a certain way about something, I'll play that meditation just to change my way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I try to think positively,
Mm-hmm.
even though, negative thoughts can creep in because I'm only human, but I
Right.
try to change that thought as soon as it comes in. I think of something positive. I write down, I don't do it every day, but I do it. For the most part, I write down 5 things I'm grateful for every morning. And
That's a good one.
because I wake up, I think it may be menopause, a hormone thing, but I wake up very early. Like I only sleep maybe 5 hours a night.
Oh, wow.
So I'm up very early and I think a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes when you think a lot, you can start to worry.
Mm-hmm.
So I, to change my thoughts, I write those 5 things down. Because I might think, like for instance, today my car didn't start.
Okay.
But I went to the gym and I put a note on the car because it was alternate side of the street parking. And I was like, oh no, I got to call AAA. I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave this car here. I'm going to write a note for the traffic cop and pray I don't get a ticket. I'm going to leave it here till Friday when I have to move it. I'll call AAA then.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, cause I'm like, I'm not missing my spin class this morning.
Oh, good for you.
So I just try to, as soon as that negative thinking creeps in, I just try to turn it around.
Cancel it.
Yes.
Yes.
Turn it around. Turn that frown upside down. And I get up and I take pride, and I will, even when every day isn't great, but I get up and do what I want to do every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even with its ups and downs and disappointments, I get up and do what I want to do every day.
That's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's freedom.
Yeah.
And certainly it brings you joy. I like the think a lot thing. I think a lot too. My team doesn't like it in much because I think up work. I've been thinking, or send an email, and but nothing stops the sleep for me. So I definitely sleep, but I'm up very early. And I do more before 10 o'clock than most people do all day. One of the things that I definitely do that keeps me is I pray. That first thing, I pray. I read a couple of devotionals. I read my word. I pray. And then I take care of myself. Then I take care of my dog. And then I let in the world. I turn on the computer, then I turn on the phone, but not until I've taken care of myself. That has been so important for me to be grounded, to pour what I'm able to pour, to let go down the drain what needs to go down the drain, all of the things that perhaps have been holding, and releasing those things before I go to sleep, though. That's important too. Because I don't want to take those things to my bedroom or to my bed. I let them go down the shower with the soapy suds. Or when I flip that switch on the drain in the tub, it goes down the drain. It's been very therapeutic. That's my meditative state. And just water, period. Like washing the dishes, mopping the floor. It's like God speaks to me when there's water. It's clear, there's clarity, there's, and when I don't have anything on, for somebody who worked in the music business, I could be in the house all day with no music, but when the family gets in, forget it. They turn on every light in the house, every apparatus. There's different kind of music in every room. And I relish the silence. And then, because things come, ideas come, just looking out at the trees, seeing the trees rustle, seeing what the dog is barking at. The simplistic, but necessary to keep you grounded, and having joy in that little stuff. That little stuff. That's what it is for me. I'm so glad you all were here with me today.
Oh, it's an honor. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, I am honored too. I'm just
so
honored
much.
too that you, my sisters, have just emerged like butterflies as, into your chapter 2s. And it's just a blessing to see where we sisters are who worked behind the scenes, behind the mic in the industry.